Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my April TBR list. If you guys are new here, hi, I'm Kendra and I like books and sometimes post about makeup and yeah, join the family. Love to have you subscribe. Anyways, I've got quite the list for April and I think I'm setting myself up very unrealistically, but regardless, we're gonna try. We're gonna try our darndest. So it is actually currently March 30th, so I'm a little bit early, but I do move next weekend, like April 6th, that weekend. I'm moving apartments, so I'm not gonna have time to film next weekend, so alas, that is why I am filming here today on this date, on this hour, with this backdrop. I guess I'll start off with the books I've actually kind of already started. And those two, well, the first one is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I have read Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Empire of Storms. Wait, did I do that right? No, that doesn't sound right. I have read Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows. I forgot Queen of Shadows. Empire of Storms and The Assassin's Blade. So next is Tower of Midnight and then Kingdom of Ash. So I am hoping to finish this book this month. It is quite a doozy. It seems small, but that is because they made the pages hella thin and 658 pages in here. Does it look like 658? No, it looks like 300 to 400, but that is because they made the pages, the paper size, tiny. So I know I'll get through this. This one will probably be like 50% physical read, 50% audiobook. I do have the audiobook for this one, just because I feel like I'm already liking this way more than I thought I would, and I'm only on page 116, but I'm like did not care at all about K-All, but I'm already liking this way more than I thought I would. So I think I want to get through this. So I think I'm going to, like when I'm doing my makeup and stuff, I'll listen to this on audiobook, and when I have time I will sit down and physically read it. That just took way too long to describe this book, I'm sorry. The next book I've already started on is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I am on Chapter 5, The Whomping Willow, page 65. I haven't done too much reading of this, basically because I had so many other books on my plate, and I still do, but I'm obviously loving this, and I know I'll get through this in the month of April. Yeah, I'm setting myself up for disaster because I have so many books on my April TBR, but I say that, and I read 7 books last month, and that's pretty good for me, so maybe I can be even better this month, who knows. The next book I plan on reading, and none of this is in order, like those two I'm obviously, like the two I just showed up, I've obviously already started on. The rest of these aren't in order. I'll probably just like mood read these, you know, like when I'm in the mood for them, but the next one will be Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. I am very not into this series. I'm forcing myself to get through it so I can read Six of Crows. I hope the third book is better than the second, and the second was slightly better than the first. So as long as I get a lot of Nikolai in this book, I'll be happy, or a lot of Nikolai and the Darkling, I'll be happy. I don't really have much else to say because I'm obviously pretty disappointed in this series, but I'm forcing myself to get through this. Forcing myself. The next book I really want to read this month is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I think I read this when I was in high school. Maybe like not all of it. I can't remember. I know I've read some of this. I really want to read the entire Lord of the Rings series. Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite movies of all time, like the series. I grew up on those. Like I think I was only old enough to go, because I think it came out in 2000, 2001, 2002. I think are the years it came out. Maybe it's 2001, 2002, 2003. But I think it's 2000, 2001, 2002. I'm pretty sure I wasn't allowed to go until the third movie, but I did see the third one in theaters if I remember correctly. But I literally grew up on these, like me and my oldest brother, we'd always watch them together. Well, my whole family would watch them, but me and my oldest brother used to have this thing. We'd watch them. It was great. I mean, Legolas is my favorite character of all time. Well, not like the favorite character of all time, but one of my favorite characters of all time from anything, so obviously. So I want to get through The Hobbit. Did I even talk about? Yes, I did say The Hobbit. What I have heard about J.R.R. Tolkien's work is that it's very wordy, and usually I can force myself to read things like this, so I'm pretty sure I can get through this just fine, but we'll see. I'll update you guys. There will definitely be a reading vlog, and I will let you know. probably, well, the next one I'm also really excited for, but this one I'm for sure so freaking excited for. This is Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I have only heard the best things about this series. I'm so excited to get into it. I heard it's like kind of really spicy, you know what I mean? And also like lots of action and lots of stuff like that. So I'm really excited. This is just the first book. I think I'm gonna love it. Some of the people I know love it, and I think we're just gonna vibe. Like I vibe with them and I'm gonna vibe with this book, you know what I mean? I'm so excited for this. Wish me luck, but I'm pretty sure everyone says it's really easy to get through and that it's really intriguing all the way through, and I don't think it's slow at all from what I've heard. I'm trying to see how many pages. So there's 427 pages, which isn't horrible. I can probably get through this in a couple of days at the longest, maybe like 2 or 3 days, hopefully. I'm so excited for this, and yeah. Okay, and the next book I am so excited for is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I am for sure reading this in the month of April. I'm so excited to get into this series. First of all, I love that this has sprayed black edges. Black is amazing, the best color. I'm very excited for this. I know it takes place in the same like world as the original Grishaverse, like A Shadow and Bones, that series. But I know it takes place, I know it has different characters. If I remember correctly from what people have said, I know they sometimes maybe reference characters or people from a Shadow and Bone series. I'm not 100% positive. Of course, I'll know more once I finally read it. But I'm very excited to get into this book. I'm so excited to get into this book. And I'm mainly excited because even people I know that love this shared the same sentiment as me with the Shadow and Bone. Like they didn't like Shadow and Bone. Like Books with Chloe did not really care for the Shadow and Bone series, but she said this is one of her favorite books. I think now, she just read it like a couple months ago, but you can hear it from her own mouth on her own channel. But I'm just saying, I know that people who even didn't like Shadow and Bone like me loved this book, and yeah, I know it has a similar dynamic to The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi, which I did read and I enjoyed, but I didn't think it was great. But it's like this band of friends that go on a heist in this book. And I really loved the dynamic between the friends in The Gilded Wolves, so I know I'm going to like this in that sense. So that is 6 books, and I'm hoping I can get through those. One book I'm just not terribly in the mood to read, but I really want to get through in the month of April if I have time. These 2 books I'm talking about are kind of like added bonuses if I have time. And the first one is Caraval by, what is this called? Stephanie Garber. The 3rd and final book in this series comes out in May, and I did very impulsively buy the limited edition Owl Crate box that has a special edition of the 3rd book of this, Finale I think it's called. I don't know why I bought that because I haven't even read Caraval or the 2nd book, which I think is called Legendary, but my sister loved this book, loved it. She said it was so good, and I'm pretty sure Majel, who I've mentioned her in videos before, but she's a booktuber friend of mine, I will link her channel down below. I'm pretty sure she read this in one sitting on her entire flight and loved it. So I'm excited to get to this, but for some reason, like I used to be in the mood for this, and for some reason right now I'm like, yeah, I want to read it, but I'm not like terribly in the mood for it, and that's why it's on the bottom of my list. And then if I have time, which I probably will not, but if I have time, I would like to reread Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. I read this once when I was 22. It was summer of 2015. And I loved it. Loved it. It became one of my favorite books of all time. I loved the dynamic between the 2 characters. It had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I loved the mystery. I loved the writing style. I just loved everything about it, and I'm curious to see if it still holds up. And I hope it does, because I love this book with all of my heart, and I really want to love it just as much this time around. It's not super long, so I think if I have time this month, I can definitely get through it. It is 342 pages, and it is a kind of a Beauty and the Beast mixed with a Roman or Greek, what is the word? Mythology. Roman or Greek, something like that, mythology mixed together. So it's kind of like both like a Beauty and the Beast and that mythology mashed together. I loved this the first time around, and I really want to love it just as much. So I'm hoping I have time to get to this one. Crossing my fingers. I'm gonna put it back on my shelf though. There is one more book potentially that I will try and read in the month of April. So this whole TBR could just become a hot mess, honestly. Like, it could become a hot mess, but like when I do my April wrap up, I bet like everything is just gonna be scrambled. Like none of this is going to stay true. But I just read, well, I'm currently almost done with Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi, and I think I might read the second book in that series because I bought it on Barnes & Noble, so yeah, I have a problem. I'm setting myself up for disaster, I really am. I have been in such a mood to do so many rereads lately, but I have so many other popular slash intriguing slash good books on my TBR that I'm hoping every single month I can add at least one reread into the mix of my TBR. This month, if I get around to Cruel Beauty, then it'll be one reread. And I also want to try and add a classic or like a book out of my typical genre within the list of books I want to read as well, which is where The Hobbit comes into play. And I just want to expand a little bit more. I love YA fantasy, that's my favorite genre, but I also do love some adult fantasy, and I also do love other compelling books such as A Monster Calls, or like, you know what book is really good? Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. I read that in high school and I want to do a reread of that soon. But stuff like that, like I do want to branch out a little bit more, even though obviously YA fantasy will be my #1 genre. Yeah. Okay guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up on this video. Don't forget to subscribe also if you are new here. And I love, love, love talking to people in the comments, so don't forget to leave me a comment if you have anything you want to tell me, if you have any questions, if you've read any of these books, or how about if you've read Shadow and Bone series and what your thoughts are on it versus Six of Crows, the Six of Crows duology. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a great morning, noon, evening, day, night, whenever it happens to be that you're watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!